Welcome to Gene and Mike do the New York Times crossword.
Hi, I'm Gene.
And I'm Mike. And today we are doing the crossword for Friday, May 23rd, 2025. So, on another one of those palindromic days in May.
There's not too many left.
Nope, but we should celebrate each one of them.
I think so.
Did you do the crossword?
I did.
And was it a cause for celebration?
Well, I got it done. So yes, definitely. But other than that, no. It's pretty straightforward crossword puzzle.
Really? I found it quite difficult.
Oh, really?
Oh. Very, very challenging in many places.
Oh, okay.
For example, one across, which I'm sure you got immediately, was dining at Chipotle or Panera, e.g.
No, the first, I did the first 5 lines across, and I didn't get anything.
Oh, I thought you were about to say you did the first 5 lines across, and I'm wow.
No, I couldn't get anything.
Yes.
I didn't get anything until the middle of the puzzle, 27 across, inst in Athens. And I thought, that's probably the University of Georgia. And it was, UGA.
See, I had a problem there because I had GA, and I thought, Athens, Georgia. Isn't that like Atlanta, Georgia, where the PGA is? And so I thought it was going to be PGA.
Oh, no. Athens is not Atlanta.
I know that. I know that now.
Completely different city.
Yes.
But I do know the University of Georgia. I used to have colleagues that worked there.
Oh.
So, yep.
Yeah, it took me a while to find a place where I could get a toehold. It certainly wasn't 39 across. Digitus minimus pedis for one, toe. I didn't get a toehold at toe because I had no idea what that was.
Yeah, now that one I got. Because I thought...
really?
Digitus, yeah, what was it? Digitus, I thought, well, that sounds like digit. And minimus,
Smallest.
That sounds like small. And pedis, that's
foot.
That's like foot. So I thought, toe, it's a toe. Digit, small digit on the foot. So yeah, I put toe in there right away.
Wow. I don't even remember which one I got first. Maybe I didn't get any of them. But somehow I managed to get the whole grid in, so I must have started somewhere. I know I didn't start at 52 down. Watch this space. Wrist.
Yeah. That was the best clue of the puzzle. I really like that.
And there's no way I would have gotten that without the crosses.
That toe and the one above it was helped by the fact that 11 across, children's character who wears a duffel coat. I knew that was Paddington Bear.
11 down, right?
So I had the G and the T. So the T became toe, and the G, which was when I was like, what could this be? Class in middle or high school? I'm like, that could be about anything, but beginning with G, 3 letters, it had to be gym class.
I think I figured out the one that I got first. 29 across, color akin to camel, tan.
Tan, yes.
And from that, I was able to get Paddington Bear. No, I needed a lot more crosses before, because I didn't know a duffel coat. What is a duffel coat?
Which one is? Oh, that's like it's kind of like my winter coat, sort of like a pea jacket. Just like a woolen coat that's double-breasted. And
see, I think the only thing I can think of that follows duffel is bag, like duffel bag. But okay, apparently Paddington Bear wears one. I'll have to go study a picture or two of his. 23 across, Boston University athlete. I had it starting off with TER, and I thought, oh, it's Terrapin.
Yes, I thought that too, but I knew that wasn't right. I knew they were in Maryland, right?
I had no idea. In fact, I didn't even know how to spell it, but it didn't really matter because the correct answer was terrier.
Terrier, yes. This is funny, I had 12 down, cement ingredient. I thought, I think that, I had a few of the letters, and I think it's shale.
Yes.
And then I thought, but I thought 11 across, handheld 2000 Sony console for short. And I wasn't sure what that was. I put PDA to begin with. So anyway, for some reason, I figured that the cement ingredient was chalk.
Oh.
I had the HAL, and I thought, oh, maybe it's chalk. And then 13 down, one footing the bill. For some reason, I put payee instead of payer.
Mm-hmm. Because you hear payee a lot more.
Yes, So I had the Tereich for the mascot. And that's where I ended up with the puzzle. And I'm like, that can't be right. So then I put back shale. And I'm like, oh, it's payer, and then it became terrier, and that looked a lot better. And it also solved the puzzle.
Well, I had hail, and then I'm like, it looks like it should be shale, but I thought, I didn't think that went into cement. So I thought, well, maybe it's whale. Maybe they've always been putting, that's why there are no whales left, because they keep going into and I thought, they don't put whales in interstates. That would be disgusting. So I presume PSP is PlayStation Pro or something like that.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. I was thinking personal digital.
Right.
I didn't know what they were asking about there. But anyway, yeah, it was shale and payer.
And that terrier. You know, terrier sort of looks like terrors or terrorists. Mm-hmm. Here comes the Boston University terrorists. I mean, I don't think that's really going to... That'll scare the opposition, I suppose. But.
I suppose, yes.
23 down was Little Rats, and that was Tattletales.
Right.
I thought that was sort of cute.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what else did we have that was good here?
7 down was kind of interesting, too. I didn't get it right away, but it hurts when it comes up. Sore subject.
Yes. Yeah, I found that to be quite challenging. Because I didn't know, let's see, 37 across, cocktails garnished with mint leaves, mojitos.
Right.
Did you know that?
I did not, but I got the M and the O, and it's got to be a mojito. So, yeah.
Yeah, I needed every letter before I could get it. Mm-hmm. And I really, at one point, I just didn't know what to do with the aforementioned GA, because I was so sure it was PGA.
Oh,
The mistakes we make. Mm-hmm. I was also naticked at 47 across. The Artist's Garden at Giverny Artist, and that was Monet.
Yes.
Crossing with 42 down, Blank Lamar Hill, a.k.a. Lil Nas X, and that was Montero.
I had a lot of trouble with Montero, because I didn't know that one either. But eventually, I got it, with the crosses. Right?
See, my problem was because, of course, there are the two famous artists, Monet and Manet.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I thought Montero didn't sound quite as good to me as Montero.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I was sort of leaning towards that, but when I wasn't getting the happy music, I was sort of flailing around all over the place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Monet, that he painted his water lilies, I believe, in Giverny. Giverny. Giverny.
Actually, how I say it and how it should be pronounced are totally different things. So.
Somewhere in France, but yes, he's kind of famous for that.
Mm-hmm. 63 across. What might get you out of a jam? Side Street.
Mm-hmm.
That was cute.
That was a good one, too.
I had Wide Street for a bit. And then realized that Side Street sounded better.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, that crossed with 50 down. Check for pieces, say, frisk.
Yes, that was good. Yeah, because I had trouble there because, check for... I'm not sure why, but I decided that 65 across, what some loggers log... I had an E and I had an S, and I thought, it's something to do with seismic activity. And I thought they were like logging earthquakes or something. And so I had size something, and then I thought it was key strikes. But then I realized that Montero sounded better than Monterey, and that became keystrokes, and that's when I got the happy music.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So right at the bottom there.
Mm-hmm. But it was a challenge everywhere. I had trouble with 48 across. The uber progressives were the far left.
Right.
But since I didn't know what to do with source subject, I didn't have that last letter, and I didn't have frisk. So it was a bit of a challenge there. Mm-hmm. I thought this was much harder than the typical Friday.
Oh, really?
But you didn't find it that way.
I did not find it that bad, no. Mm-hmm. But it took me a while to get anything going. But then eventually, just from that UGA, I was able to build on that and work my way down and then work my way back up. So
yeah, if I had that U and knew that it was a U, I probably would have gotten this done a little bit faster. Another clue I didn't know: 14 across, the Black Unicorn Poet, 1978, Audre Lorde.
yes.
That really would have been nice to know.
Yes, I had Andre Lord, but then 2 down were some cars.
Was Malibu.
Right? Yeah, or Malibu example. It was an auto.
That was auto, yeah.
At first I thought, well, I know it's a car, but maybe it's an aisle.
Yes.
Sort of the aisle
Yep.
of Malibu.
I was thinking exactly the same thing.
But that didn't work.
But, not knowing fast casual, that really, when I finally got it, I'm like, okay, I guess that's a thing.
Yeah.
Because I also didn't know 3 down. Calif School that runs the Mount Laguna Observatory, SDSU.
Yeah, San Diego State.
See, I wanted it to be UCLA again.
Well, me too. I put UCLA in there, but no.
If it's a California school, it has to be UCLA. Until it isn't. 46 across, first in command, question mark, was C.
Yes.
Spelled C-E-E. That was
right.
That was cute.
Yep.
43 across, baboon. I went for ape,
Me too.
but it was oaf.
Oaf, yes. Yes, not talking about the animal, but
And 9 down. I still don't know what 9 down's about. Secondary residence on a property, for short. ADU.
yeah, I don't know what that is either. I should know, but I don't.
Right. Well, if there's anyone listening to this podcast who is living in an ADU, please let us know. Crosswordpodcast at iCloud.com.
Well, I mean, it could be like a secondary residence. It could, be like a apartment over a garage, or it could be a granny flat in the back, or there's different kinds of ways you can have a secondary residence, or a mother-in-law apartment, they call them. But I don't know what the ADU stands for. But no.
I did like the fact that we had 54 across, very funny was har.
Yes.
And then we had 15 across, oh, that's a good one, haha.
That's right.
So
yes.
we had haha and har.
Yes.
I don't think we had any hee-hee. We did have 59 across. Let's see. That was
9 across.
59 across.
Oh, 59.
Something taken by many artists. Creative license.
Yes.
And I had the word creative and thought it was going to be like creative writing or something like that. But
No, creative license.
yes, that was good.
There's one word in here I didn't know. 24 down. Fruit that grows on Jamaican beaches. AKEE.
Yes.
I looked it up. I've never seen an AKEE, I don't believe. So.
Isn't that the name of a car?
No, that's an IKEA.
IKEA, okay. All right. Well, I think that's it for the crossword.
Okay.
But it is Friday, which means it's time for Fun Fact Friday. And I'm hoping you have a fun fact for Fun Fact Friday.
I have just a couple of fun facts.
Okay.
About one of the clues we had on Sunday was anonymous guy. And do you remember the answer?
Anonymous guy. Anonymous guy. Bro.
No. John Doe.
Oh, okay.
John Doe. So I wondered how we got the idea that an anonymous person, we call them John Doe. So I looked it up on Wikipedia, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but just a few things. John Doe, male, and Jane Doe, female, are multiple use placeholder names. That's what they're officially called, that are used in the British, Canadian, and American legal system when the true name of a person is unknown or is being intentionally concealed. In the context of law enforcement in the United States, such names are often used to refer to a corpse whose identity is unknown or cannot be confirmed. These names are also often used to refer to a hypothetical everyman in other contexts, like John Q. Public or Joe Public. Some variations are John or Richard, Jane Roe, John or Jane Smith, John or Jane Blogs, Johnny or Janie Doe, or just Baby Doe for children. This I thought was interesting. A.N. Other is another placeholder name, mainly used in the United Kingdom. Of course, that spells another, A and other, which is gender neutral. along with Joe blogs, Joe spelled Joe, or Jo for female, is often used instead of John or Jane Doe. So under the legal terminology of ancient Rome, the names Numerius Negitius and Aurelius Agurus were used in relation to hypothetical defendants or plaintiffs, and I'm glad we no longer use those. The names John Doe or John Doe or Richard Roe, along with John Roe, were regularly invoked in English legal instruments. And those names were used as early as the reign of England's King Edward the Third.
I remember him.
1327 to 1377.
I have a very good memory.
The old 1300s, they were already using the names of John Doe or John Roe. In medieval English, they also used John Noakes or John Styles. And then just finally, a couple of very famous court cases using those names, the landmark 1973 abortion cases of Roe v. Wade and Doe v. Bolton got their names from anonymous plaintiffs that were later revealed many years later. And I think we all know Roe v. Wade. I mean, it was a very famous case, and that was legalizing abortion in America. But Doe v. Bolton was decided the same day, and that was just in the state of Georgia. They had a similar abortion ruling that you could get an abortion in Georgia. So those are probably the most famous. Roe and Doe. So, okay.
All right.
That's my fun fact
today. Thank you for that. And we do have a little bit of listener mail.
Oh, yeah?
But I think in the interest of time, we're going to just build suspense and read it tomorrow.
Okay.
So, that is it for today then. Thanks everyone for listening. Be sure and tune in tomorrow when we're going to have our cutting edge analysis of tomorrow's crossword and some great listener mail.
Okay. Bye-bye.